We're going to move on very quickly to the next item on the agenda, which is the third panel, panel 3. We're going to be talking about green media and popular culture, using new media for sustainable green initiatives. Moderator, we have Owe Josiah Abolade. Were you here? And he was actually here, like... Okay, let me start with the panelists then. We have the CEO of Blue Ocean Nigeria, Mr. Segun Adaju. Thank you very much, sir. Where is he? Here? Is he here? Okay, do we have the Specialist Energy and Environment Management, Mr. Kaikumi Stefan? Okay, how you doing, Ben? Just take a seat. A round of applause. Properguide.com. Bankole Temitayo, Prime Minister, Green Campus Initiative. A round of applause to him. Is he here? Guy, your picture looks different. Yeah. Olubumi Ayodele, Chief Communications Officer, Green Campus Initiative. A round of applause. Okay, Mr. Segun Adaju, thank you for coming, joining us, sir. And we are complete. And then the moderator, he's a teaching assistant at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, one of the best technology schools in Nigeria. For those who know FUTA, it's not WASH. Wait, bros, you don't graduate? Okay. All right then. So, Owoye Josiah Abolade, a round of applause to him. A round of applause. So this is 18 minutes past 2. Okay, who's the DJ? Oh, yeah. Is it for me to... Oh, it's part of the presentation. Are you serious? Oh, entrance. Sound like wedding. All right, so this is 18 past 2, and we're going all the way to 2:45. All right, so everything should be concluded. All right, so 2:45, we're going to round up with everything that has to do with this. So, Mr. Moderator, I would strongly recommend interjecting quickly. For the audience, your Q&As, very, very quickly, very brief, to the point. All right? Over to you, Josiah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Owe Abolade once again, and in this session, we'll be discussing green media and popular culture, using new media for sustainable green initiatives in Nigeria. Okay, since we are trying to make everything snappy, because a lot of people don't really understand the concept behind green or the correlation behind green and media itself, we would like the CEO, the founder of Green Campus Initiative, that is the person of Adenike Akishemolu, to come and give us a brief on the green media and popular culture before we go into the panel session. So, Adenike, please. Come forward.
Hi, my name is Adenike, and I'd like to describe myself as an educator. I'd like to tell you a love story. The love story is the green story. And for every love story, you need passion, you need commitment, and you need dedication. For you to make this a reality, you need some kind of tool that will help you achieve your dream. And that is how the Green Campus Initiative started, using the green idea for popular culture. So when you talk about green, people think about environment, they think about climate change, all this is very scientific inclined, and it can be boring. So how can we simplify this concept in such a way that everybody will understand the idea of green without talking about the scientific jargons? And that is how the new media is helping the Green Campus Initiative to achieve this goal. So my love story continues. It started with a set of students. About 250 students were in my class. And I asked them a very simple question. We're talking about environmental degradation and all that. So I asked them a very simple question. What does it mean to go green? Surprisingly, about 96.5% of them I've never heard about the idea before. And that is a problem. And at that moment, I had my eureka moment. How can we explain this concept to students in a way they do understand? So first, we started with traditional media, which created something called the Green Book. So I gave it to them. I said, go and read the Green Book. Do you think they read it? The ones that even read it, they memorized it. So they came to class, they were giving me the book word for word. So that means they not fully understand the idea of going green. So I said, okay, traditional media is not good. Let's channel our energy into like social media. So we approached the provost of our college. His name is Professor Olukoya again, and it's on the slide. And we said, sir, students will look up to you because you're the number one citizen of the campus. So what can you do to help us? So we said, okay, we'll give you a green t-shirt. You ride bicycle to work maybe once a week, for instance. And he said, okay, sure, I can do that. So he started doing that. And people were asking questions. Then we put it on Facebook. And then he created a Facebook account for himself. And then he had all these pictures. So people started asking questions. Why is our provost, why is it riding a bicycle? Is unusual, especially, in Nigeria, we like guards and security and everything. So, but we understand that celebrity, you can use celebrity, but you cannot reach out to ordinary people just by using celebrity. So we understand that we have to reach out to ordinary people to achieve our extraordinary results. So we started using people, common faces, people that you see on campus regularly, like the SUG president, for instance, some lecturers. So if you look at the picture on the far left, it says, I am the registrar, you're never too old to exercise. I love cycling, you should try it too. So people started asking us questions. What's this Go Green thing about? So we put it on Facebook, we have it banners all over campus. What's this thing about? What's this thing about? Some people just come to you and say, please, ma, can I have my picture on Facebook? Can you just use me as a model or an ambassador? Which is good, because we're getting their interest. And that is the first step to this green journey. And then we created a YouTube video, but we'll show that one later because of time. After the YouTube video, we organized what we call the Annual Green Series, which is a seminar day and a day of action. So during the Annual Green Series, we educated people on the idea of going green. And I asked one simple question. Why are we not going green? It's very simple. But let me just get you through the scientific stuff for just 1 minute. So if you look at the picture, I'm going to explain the idea of climate change in just 1 minute using pictures. So the atmosphere has 3 layers, the mesosphere, the stratosphere, and the troposphere. Between those layers, we have the ozone layer. So due to our activities, like burning of fossil fuel, waste, etc., we are contributing to the depletion of this layer. So when this layer depletes, see what happens. The sun can easily penetrate into the earth, and this can cause skin melanomas, can cause cancers, etc. So now, we understand that people don't go with science. In Nigeria, we're a religious country, right? Religion. So it's like, okay, you know what? Let's connect the green idea to religion. Everybody will be interested. So we quoted a Bible verse, Isaiah 24, 4-6. And it says, I'll read from the 3rd line. So the earth is defiled by its people. They have disobeyed the laws, violated the statuses. So I'll go to the next one. It says, therefore, earth's inhabitants are burned up and very few are left. So if you go back to the previous slide, you can connect it. It's defiled by the people. So based on our activities, we're defiling the earth, and then the sun, burned up, ozone layer, depletion. But that is still all jargons. It doesn't make sense to the layman. So I ask a simple question. What is green? Don't even think about going green. Just think about what is green. So I'm going to start with the... Should I put anybody on the spot? Should I put you on the spot? No? All right. So when you think about green, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Anybody? Plants. Very nice. Grass. Energy. Trees. Healthy living. Nigeria. Organic. Very good. So I asked my students the same question, and they were able to answer. It's like growth, plans, courage, love, peace, etc. Notice that all these words are positive. So if green is associated with positive, why are we not going green? It's very simple. It's corruption. When we think about corruption, we think about political embezzlement, we think about fraud, we think about rape, etc., crime. But let's think about corruption in an environmental sense. Corruption is dropping of waste on the floor. and you don't even have any sense of guilt. You just drop it and you keep going. Or you're driving and you just throw that bottle on the road, and it doesn't concern you. Corruption is eating too much. Excess. Corruption is wasting of water because there are people that do not have access to clean, potable water. And then, I've used the Bible verse, so I went into the Quran now, and it says that, eat and drink from the provision of Allah, and do not commit abuse on heads, spreading corruption, and do not desire corruption in the land. God does not like corruption. So if you look at this picture, this is the Niger Delta area, close to very Ondo State, where I'm doing my PhD research right now. And this is a result of oil exploration. So when oil companies, when they do all their whatever, they will put the water, they will discharge the water into the environment. But we don't care because it doesn't affect us. And our government should care, but because they've paid them some large sum of money, they don't care. But imagine someone drinking this water. What will happen? Yeah, it is water. It's that. So the first way you can go green is, first, you shun corruption, excess. Everything should be in moderation. So going green is just very simple. Living your life in such a way that you don't affect yourself, the people around you, and ultimately your environment. So the second way to go green is to reduce your waste. So you bin your waste, reduce visual pollution, use email. Like, this is 2016. You still go to some offices, you see some files, they're piled up. Send an email, invest in a hard drive, and life is even much more easier. So if you look at this picture, what is this? It's beautiful, right? Serene. You see Nigerians, they go there, they take selfie. They put it on their Facebook. Tag, location, Eiffel Tower. Now look at this picture. This is our reality. You don't want to take picture here. Why? Because it's not beautiful. But this is as a result of all the activities. When you throw something on the floor, she throws something on the floor, then the cumulative effect is what you get here. So, yeah, I think it should be a wake-up call. So you can see students cleaning up their environment, taking responsibility for their action. This is during the SUG election. You see people will start, when they want to run for SUG, they'll start putting posters everywhere on campus. Life is so easy. You can use bulk SMS. You can use Facebook and different things instead of polluting everywhere. Planting of flowers. Plants are what we call primary producers. What that means is we all depend on plants for feeding. So the more you plant flowers during the process of photosynthesis is that, okay, how do I explain? All right, so it's a biological process in which plants manufacture their food. And by the time they finish manufacturing their food, they release oxygen into the environment. So the more plants we have, what will happen? The more oxygen, and what's the result of that? You have more fresh air, so you start planting the flowers. If you look at this picture, these are 2 or 3 of my students. So I said, let us plant flowers. I was teaching them photosynthesis. The first thing they asked me, are we getting paid? That's a typical Nigerian mind. We don't want to give, but want to receive. So we started with just about few students. You can see him is right there on the picture. And what I knew about leadership is that if you want to get people to understand you, you also have to join them. So I started planting flowers with them, and then we started taking pictures, using new media, and we started posting it on YouTube. Before you know it, see the number, it has increased. You know why? Because they want to be on YouTube. They want to be on Facebook. They want to be recognized. So it's working for us, and you can see, and most importantly, what they learn is not about planting of flowers. They learn what we call teamwork. They start working together, they start thinking together, and they start, teamwork is very important. So the next thing is conservation of energy. Well, the fuel price is very high now. You can invest in solar energy. We have Mr. Segun Adaju here. If you have any questions about solar, you can talk to him about it. So please switch off your lights when you are not in the house. It's very simple. You're leaving your room, switch it off. You know why we don't care about it in Nigeria? Because we don't pay, we don't have lights. So you don't even know. So you don't even know if the light is on. But for people that do have it, try to switch it off, because if I switch off my light, if it does it, it becomes a ripple effect. I need to reduce the emission to the environment. And this is an example of a solar-powered ATM machine in the college. So we're advocating for it, and it's working. Conservation of water, every drop counts. You know that when you're brushing your teeth, you might not know. Some people, when you're brushing your teeth, you just open the tap, leave it running, and keep brushing. That's waste, that's corruption. Just turn it off, brush. You have to do it for 5 minutes, 5 seconds, do it, and then go back and turn on the water, because for some people, water is luxury. Some people, they have to trek miles to get water. You can see they're happy because they have just one borehole. Another way to go green is growing your transportation. So sustainable transportation is about walking, cycling, carpooling, and public transportation. I think a lot of people, are we familiar with carpooling? Yeah? Okay. So just an example. For instance, if I'm working for Glow, and we're all working for Glow, and we're living in the same neighborhood, we can carpool together, 4 people, and even Lagos, because I've been in Lagos since yesterday, and there's a lot of traffic. In Ondo Town, now, if I wake up like 5, I'll be at work in 5 minutes. But we can reduce traffic by carpooling. So if you have people going to work, you can come together with them. But the problem with the Nigerian nature, we think that we are using people. In other words, Mr. Shegun volunteers to take me to work. What do? Every day, I keep going. I can't even say, Mr. Shegun, can you park at the filling or gas station and just pay, as a sign of thank you. But we feel like we're using people. And that is why maybe the idea would not work, but we're advocating for it and we hope it works. And you can see on our campus, we have the registrar, myself, some students. We do ride bicycle on campus. We don't really encourage riding bicycle outside of campus. Do you know why? Because the road system are not good. But within the campus network, the roads are good and we can do that. Organic food and products. Investing in organic foods. In the college, we have students, sustainable agriculture. They produce most of the food of the college, and it's packaged into palm oil, for instance, and it's sold out. Organic products. We should try to invest in organic products. The fruit is good for you. Shea butter, honey, lemon, it's good for the skin. Bleaching cream, not so organic. And the effects of, so I want to avoid that because the black skin is beautiful, of course, and so invest in organic products. Raise eco-conscious kids. The problem with our generation now is like we can't change anymore, really, because we're so used to it. But when we start from a young age, when we start teaching kids to dispose their waste properly, it sticks. And then in the events of we have iPad, iPhones, and all these things, kids they're no longer kids. You get to be a kid really from age 1 to 18. So you have age 18 to 100, if you're going to live to 100, to become adults. So the childhood stage is very, very short. So why not enjoy it? Why do we like to be so old? We like to become madams and sars, and it's draining. Let's just encourage our kids to play outside. And speaking of new media, we launched a program called the Green Kids Club. The idea is that the university students will go to the kids in secondary schools and primary schools and talk to them about green. So we're able to partner with some media companies like Red Media. Olori Supergirl helped us out. And before you know it, we started getting entries from other countries like the US. The Green Kids Club is in the US, and they reached out to us and said, we like what you're doing. We want to be partners with you. So that's the power of media. Social entrepreneurship. I think this one is very important for all of us because we like money. But the thing is, social entrepreneurship is in between non-profit and for-profit. So the 3 principles is people, planet, profit. How does my business, how does it affect people? How does it affect my local community? And how does it affect the planet? So that's the idea of social entrepreneurship. So we encourage, so I'm going to give you a case study so that you can, so this young guy is from India. He went to the United States to study. And then he came back to India and he noticed that when he greets somebody, like he greeted a boy on the bus and the boy did not answer him. He went to a restaurant, he greeted one woman, the woman did not answer him. So it was like, why are these people so rude? And then he found out that around 6% of India people suffer from some form of hearing loss. That's about 6 million people are deaf. What's the result? Nobody wants to employ a deaf person. So he said, you know what? I can create something, a job, that creates employment for deaf people. So everybody you're seeing in this picture, they're deaf. But the thing about it is that if you're going to mail something like a courier service, you don't need to talk or you don't even need to hear what the person is saying. You just take the mail, sign, and leave. So it's one, it has considered the people, it's community, India, and then it's profit. Of course, making money, and most importantly, is making people happy. And I think that's very, very important. At the Green Campus Initiative, we encourage our students to be social entrepreneurs. And this is one of our entrepreneurs. His name is Samuel, and he's the founder of shopniche.com. He's a 300, 400 level student. And the idea is that for we in Ondo, if we want to get anything, we have to come all the way to Lagos. That's about 3-4 hours drive. So the solution is you don't have to go to Lagos anymore. You order stuff on ShopNage, you get it delivered to your door. If you're within the campus area, it's for free. If you're outside the campus area, it's just 100 naira. So he has thought about his people, the students, the Ondo people community, the planet, well, environment, and then the profit. These are some of the social businesses we have. We have Plateau Organics. That's the founder of Plateau Organics there. Yeah. We have Olayinka Ojo Photography, etc. And these are the green ministers. If you look at the picture, the first picture I share, you can see there's a transformation. The first picture where we have trees, there's a big transformation. Within 1 year, they are this. They're responsible. And they're, you know. So another use of the social media is during the Earth Day, we did a campaign called I Blame You, Sha. So we partnered with Olori Supergirl, we partnered with Y Ninja and other media, and it went viral on Twitter. So it's just the idea is to get citizens to take responsibility for their actions. We always blame the government for everything. We blame our grandmother for every bad thing that happens to us, or our friend. So the idea is, if you look at that picture, you can see a flood that is going on, and somebody said the gods are to be blamed, you know, and then it says, I blame you, Sha. You know, it's not really the gods, it's as a result of the waste, etc. Educate yourself. I'm educating you now, and I hope that when we leave here, you can educate someone about going green. Another use of the social media or new media is we've been able to collaborate with a lot of African universities. You know, the beauty of our idea, you know, I told you that I was telling a love story, is that this love story started in a very small town, Ondo town. But now we're like reaching out to people in other parts of the world, and that is the power, that's harnessing the power of media. So what is our vision? Our vision at the Green Campus Initiative is to create a healthier, happier, and more fertile community where staff and students are excited about their work and proud of their achievements. What kind of services do we offer? We offer counseling, we offer trainings, green job, exercising, healthy. We're fun people. Do I look like a fun person? So we're fun people. If you want to be a fun person, join us. So we're fun people. So to become an ambassador, the greencampusinitiative.org/ambassadors. So that's the way to apply to become an ambassador. So what is my dream for Nigeria? I am not dreaming for Nigeria. I'm dreaming for campuses, because I know that students in campuses will go out there and become leaders. So my dream for Nigerian campuses is that I dream of a campus that is environmentally conscious, where students are disposing their waste by types. I dream of a campus that is serene, beautiful, that students want to come to school and read and understand. You know, that is one of this dream. And I dream of a practically oriented education where students, upon graduation, are willing to take up the world, not by the theoretical things they've learned in science or in arts and all this big textbook, but they're able to apply it practically to their society. I dream of a campus where students are socially responsible, and where staff and students are working together to achieve a common goal. And most importantly, this is my love story, ends because I dream of a campus that is green and sustainable, and everybody is just happy. That's the end goal of all this thing, to be happy. So at this point, I think you've been sitting now for too long, since 8 o'clock, right? 10 o'clock. So I'm going to ask everybody to stand up, please. Please stand up. Thank you. I want to induct you in our cult. I'm just kidding, it's not a cult. So hands on your chest, right hands, please, on your chest. And then we're going to take the green pledge. So you say after me, I'll say my name, you say your name, and then we'll go. So my name is Adenike. I will never drop waste on the floor. I will drink and eat moderately, because I know some people do not have access to food and water. I will switch off my appliances where nothing used. I will travel sustainably. And above all, I pledge to be green. So ladies, gentlemen, let's go green. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. You know, imagine we just all turn to incredible work after saying we all want to go green. But really, we need to go green. There's never a better time to start. It's a pity that our generation know the truth, but to adhere to it is very difficult. But we are glad that there's already a kids club where we can raise an eco-conscious generation that we, be able to pull through with this, even if we can't. But we should try our best anyway. Okay. At this junction, a lot of people would actually ask, if I go green, what's in it for me? What do I tend to gain? And when I'm saying what's in it for us, I'm talking in terms of the economics. And when I'm talking about economics, I'm talking about revenue cash. A lot of people would still see it as a waste of time. I probably leak TomTom. Do I have to wait till I get to a dustbin before I throw it away? How is that going to help the ecosystem? And, so I'll be directing my first question to the energy economist. That is Stefan. How do you think people can be stimulated to, go green and as well as make something tangible out of it in terms of revenue?
Thank you for your question. First of all, I'd like to say big congrats to Adenike on her presentation. I've heard it now 2 or 3 times, and it's always nice every time. To answer the second part of your question, how do you make money from this, essentially? I think anything that you do as a business that you're passionate about and is geared towards helping people, I think in itself will yield at some point some returns. And that could be anything. I'm very new to this scene of media, so I don't know who I'm addressing in the crowd, but I will speak about how your first part of the question of how to be relevant. When I got the call from Adenike about this conference, I think 2 minutes after, I thought to myself, what do I know about media and sustainability? Like, I know the sustainability part, but how does this correlate? I think things like Facebook, which was spoken about in the presentation, is one way. I think other forms of social media and platforms are quite saturated at the moment, so I think we need to think ahead. And I think about things like bots, which are essentially software applications, robots online that you can chat with. I think these are ways for companies to interact with people newly and with customers as well. So imagine being on your phone and how you would chat on WhatsApp to your friend. You can chat with Blue Camel Energy and say, oh, you want to install so amount of solar panels on your house, or how much will that cost me? What's your quote? Makes life a lot easier. I think also about things like the Internet of Things, which is still relatively new. But essentially what the IoT does is it syncs up everything that you have with the rest of society. So from your phone to traffic lights to your fridge to anything. And it links up a city and essentially the world. I think that will help to make things a bit more sustainable as well and a bit more forward thinking. So I think in terms of new media and sustainability, I think the proven methods which are used now by the media are proven, so then a lot of people use them. But I think it's also exciting to think about what may come in the future with a lot of tech developments. And I think that is the way to go in terms of aiding extra sustainability. I also think a lot about companies. When you mention sustainability, a lot of companies have a CSR department, which is a corporate social responsibility. It's a way for them to be transparent in their actions, so to speak. Shell, which was put up a few minutes ago, as well as other international companies I know, all publish CSR reports. And this is a voluntary act. So you get like a certification for this, probably from an ISO. So you get an ISO standard. And what this does is it makes you competitive. It gives you an edge. It shows to your community that you care about them and that you care about the environment and you're doing things to give back. So I think that's another way as well for if you had a business and you were green or sustainable, that's a way to give you an edge as well. I think I've answered your questions.
Okay, going by what you're saying, it has brought up another thing, and you talked a lot about using media to generate income, but we see a lot of these things as steering actions. More of the presentation, right, was geared towards steering the actions in people, go green, do this and do that. And Mr. Segun Adaju, I would like to ask you this. Can the media be used as a true representative to monitor the response of people to sustainability, to trying to go green?
All right, thank you. Let me share my experience. I'm a former banker who happened to find myself in the energy space because I also noticed there's a problem that I need to find a solution. So we deploy, my company and my colleagues, we deploy solar energy. We call it Solar Direct on your rooftop. And I can tell you that I've been on solar for 4 years. My house is completely powered by solar. So that's possible. Now, I can also tell you that 98% of the clients that we have installed solar for anywhere in Nigeria has been by social media. We do a lot of posts on Facebook. I tweet a lot. Everything I do on social media is all about renewable energy, and it's all particularly about solar. And I can attest to that, a lot of old friends, my secondary school mates of many years back, we find out just popping up because we are doing posts on social media. We have not done any kind of adverts on the hard, if I can use that word, the other media types that you think of, but only on social media. It's a test. It's a pilot. We're trying to see, can it work? But I can say 98% of the time, it has worked for us. Recently, we also veered into what we call productive use of energy. We realized that there's this set of generator in Nigeria that is so popular, everybody knows. I better pass my neighbor, right? I've heard, people say it. And there was a day I went to my barber shop, and the noise was getting too much. And we asked that, look, is there no better way? Can't I do solar for you? And it was like an idea. And we started. I can tell you today that we've powered over 100 barber shops in Nigeria as a pilot. Wow. If you're in doubt, you can come to Magodo Isheri and I'll take you to my barber. That's what he uses, right? Now, we also were surprised that, look, at this set of guys, are they on social media? You'll be surprised, they are. Almost all of them are on Facebook. And we've engaged with the association. We've got development partners, GFID and Power Africa, to support us and say, look, can we roll out, how many barbers do you have in Lagos, for example? Can I roll out 1,000 in year one, for example? So I can tell you clearly that, the new set of media in town now, to me, they are more effective than me putting a 450,000 advert on a page of the newspaper for one day. True. We hope that at some point in time, I'm not a techie type, so we're hoping that at some time, I had some of your colleagues talking about social media manager. We hope to have one of these days and really, really push. We call it Solar Direct on your rooftop, and it has worked very well. Finally, a very, very well done job to Nike. My first son is in Babcock. He's 18 years, so you can guess my age. And I think he's the first ambassador in Babcock. Yeah, he's also a green guy. He's gone completely very green. He understands what greens means. Yeah, exactly. So we're hoping that very soon we can go launch a chapter in Babcock. I'll fully support that.
Interesting. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Bankole Temitayo, the Prime Minister of Green Campus Initiative. Um, don't be surprised. He has the art. So, we've seen that Green Campus Initiative is trying to go across the institutions in Nigeria. Just like I asked if the media can be used to monitor, how do you ensure that responsibilities are not duplicated? And what I mean is that, you know, it always happens that you have a lot of NGOs, they all want to do the same thing at the same time, and you find out that something that has already been done in one quarter, another person wants to come and do the same thing in another quarter. So how do you check this, or how are you able to cope with this, if at all it has happened in your tenure as the Prime Minister?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, it has already happened. It's happened, like friends, they started something, they actually called it almost the same name like ours, and then some people that is part of us, they wanted to start something to using stuff that we've actually taught them. But what I believe is that what we are doing is actually unique, and everything we do is coming from our heart. So no one can steal it from our heart because it is locked there. And again, earlier on, someone was talking about his show or write-up that he wanted to go and protect it or something. And they answered him that once he has the uniqueness, that he does not need to buy it off or pay any amount. So the point is, whatever you do, and if anybody is not trying to beef you or mimic you or do the same thing, that means what you are doing is not actually right. So for the fact that you are doing something right, everybody wants to do the same thing. They might not discover it before you do, but immediately you bring it out, they'll be like, wow, this is great. Just keep your ideas to yourself. Don't let anyone steal it from you. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. But in this case, it is geared toward sustainability. Would we say it is a waste of time to repeat something that has already been done, or it is actually just?
Yeah, it sees advantages. And the environmental stuff is everybody's business.
Okay.
Whether you are a scientist or an economist, whatever field you are, the environment is everybody's business. We have to take care of the environment. Everybody eats and everybody drink water. So it is everybody's business. So it is advantageous, but the bad aspect is that when they are using exactly what you are using, so that's the bad aspect, because what we're doing is to get everybody involved. So yes, we want you to be involved, but not stealing what we are doing. So, and the social media had helped us a lot. It has really, really helped. Like what she said, the environmental campaign and all that. It has helped us to reach people from different parts of the world, from the country. We opened a Facebook page and we have thousands of likes in few months. Our website is cool, you can check it out. We have a lot of views and all that. So the media is really helping, and most of what we do, we advocate for a paperless policy. So that's how the media has been helping us.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'd just like to add something to your question. First of all, I think there's nothing that you can do or think of that someone hasn't thought of already, first of all. But what it does is it accelerates competition. And with competition comes improvement to everybody. So you get lower prices, you get more efficient tech, you get more accessibility, you get more publicity. So having more people do the same thing over and over again, essentially it's a learning curve. It can only get better, so yeah.
Sure, that's good, I agree with you. Okay, I saw something new during the presentation, that's the Plato Organics, and okay, that's Ms. Odranya. And I would like you to shed more light on Plato Organics. I didn't really get it during the presentation, so
okay.
What is it about?
It's about organic. It's about grain. Okay, I caught this idea when I joined the Green Campus Initiative. And, we advocate for organic. We want you to go organic. So I thought of, okay, I'm a student in same college, And what sells most in our college is junks. We have people eat junks all the time. Drink junk, eat junk, live junk. Like, you get. So what can I do? So what I do is I sell fruits and I process it for them. You know, some people find it difficult, you know, I can't just be eating apple and it doesn't fuel me and things like that. Okay, what about if I process it into something that will fill you, something that would, you know, satisfy you, thank you, something that will satisfy you. We process fruits into snacks, we process it into meal, you get. So that is the idea of Plate Organic, and we have started in Adeyemi College of Education, and it's not supposed to be that alone, it is campus targeted. So we'll move to different campuses.
So what would be the difference between me going to Iya Basira and, you know, going for your Plate Organics?
Come on, there's a lot of difference.
Okay, yeah, I would like to know that.
It is the health consciousness thing. It is very nutritious. Then the side effects of the other. Okay, Yabaseria is still is food, really. But the thing is, most of those food cannot produce, they cannot really give you what your body need on a daily basis. So your body need a lot of nutrients, vitamins, which fruits give you a large quantity of. You know, one apple will give you a lot of, you know, a lot of nutrition, more than what a bar will give you.
Really?
Yes, we all eat a bar, don't let's form to share. So that is it.
Okay. But I think, what about the organic part? Is it, okay, now the distinction I'm trying to create is, what will be the difference between what you are providing, the services you're providing, and me probably growing my vegetable in my garden and harvesting it to cook? Is there anything special about the organics, or it's just you cultivating the food yourself or ensuring the safety of the food? That is the selling point.
Yes. We get our products directly from farmers, tested farmers that don't use harmful fertilizers, that grow their products naturally.
Naturally, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and we'll process it for you. That's the easy part, and we'll deliver it to you too, in your homes. And all.
Thank you very much. Okay, now I understand. I think our time is far spent, but I'd still like to ask a question. This is general. How can media increase the engagement of people in subscribing to sustainability?
There's a theory which can be traced to economic history and as well back into like the 1980s, and can also be linked most recently to more environmental aspects and energy transition. So this theory is essentially a transition theory, and what this transition theory says is that to move away from where we are now, which is essentially still crude methods, to a higher level of including renewable energy and newer, cleaner forms of energy generation, and also use as well. It's not a technical thing anymore. I think that to a large extent has been taken care of. What this theory includes, which is new, is the society. So this theory recognizes transition as not just using technology itself, but also people. So transitions cannot happen. We cannot continue or improve in our sustainability if we don't carry society along. And I think that's where new media comes in, because it's the people that makes the change. You see a solar panel on your friend's house, and you're like, oh, that looks cool, maybe I'll get one for myself as well. Or you hear about it in this conference, for example, and you Google it, and you end up studying in renewable energy or something, become an engineer, I don't know. But this theory in itself links directly society to furthering sustainability. And I think new media, proven, existing, and future, has a very large part to play in that transition.
Thank you very much, Kaiku.
Yeah, like you said, if in the sustainability aspect needs everybody. So the new media would really, really help us to advocate, let people know about what is going on. Like you taking a selfie in front of your house with solar panels. When your friend sees it, when you use it as your display picture, you'll be like, wow, I like this. And the blue color is very, very fascinating. Like, you will like the color. So everybody will get to know. I have a lecturer using solar panel in his house, and it's very, very cool. I want to have that too. And yeah, Facebook and all of that would really, really help. If I have 500 friends, at least 500 friends, and I post officially green, at least 200 or 300 will ask me, what is green all about? So the new media is really,
will
really,
it last
really
beyond
helping.
the curiosity?
Sir?
Will it last beyond the curiosity? Like, will that help them cultivate a sustainable habit?
Yes.
Beyond them asking you
Yes,
about
yes.
it and all?
Because first of all, when we talk about new media, we would relate it to digital stuff. So I can't post, if I'm going to write anything on Facebook or post anything, it will come with a picture. So I might post a picture of me planting flowers or doing a community service. Then, and trust me, every picture we take at the Green Campus Initiative is always cool. You want to see it. So whenever I post it, people ask and they want to join. I have a lot of friends that want to join. They want to volunteer. So by so doing, we'll tell them, we'll follow up on them, and everybody is environmental conscious.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for the panelists. Would you like to say anything? Okay, no, don't leave yet. They'll still ask questions. So we are the question and answer segment. Anybody that has any questions? Really? I've not asked all the questions. But sir, you look like Julius Agu a little bit. Okay, 1, 2. How many people? 1, 2, 3. Any questions? Okay.
Okay, great. So we're going to take all your questions in one go, just for the sake of time. So let's keep it as exciting as possible. I know green and sustainable energy can be a little bit draining, but let's just get the energy back into it. Let's get the fun back into it, because we're new media people. We're funky. So what's your question?
Thank you very much. My name is Lola. This is a very fantastic presentation. I'm really impressed by what she did. My question is, first of all, I would love to sign up to be an ambassador for Go Green, and I would love to do this for Yaba College of Technology. And now, students, when you start these things, they want to ask you, if I join you, waiting you won't give me for inside. You understand? So I want you to tell me one of the strategy, apart from is good for your health, is this, is that. What strategy can I use to keep them, to make them keep going on with me if I eventually want to start? Thank you.
All right.
Oh, great. Can you just hold on? Let me just get all the questions, and then we'll. So just keep that in mind, okay?
Thank you very much. My name is Oluwatoyin. Actually, I have an observation and a question for Mrs. Madam Adenike. I like your outfit. The observation I made about your presentation was that more like you assumed we all know you, because you just kept on talking your love story and all that. We don't even know where you're coming from. You talked about the love story, and you didn't really tell us what happened that you got converted to going green. That's what I observed. Then secondly, I just want to appeal that maybe you should bring the campaign to Lagos, because this is where we really need it more. Then for the Solar Direct guy, please, how can we democratize having solar panels, making it very affordable? It's happening in other countries. You don't see fancy houses having their houses powered by solar system. You see simple houses being powered by solar system. How can we have that in Nigeria as well?
Okay, great. Thank you for that. So I'm taking One more question. You know what? Let's just you hold. I'm gonna come back to you before we forget because there's quite a few talking points there. So can we address those questions before we move on? I'm not sure who on the panel would like to. Then I suppose we will then come back to you just to get a little bit more of an introduction and a backstory, if you would humor us. So let's just start with the answers, and then just in case you want to address that. Yeah?
All right, to Miss Lola, thank you very much for that. Yes, we get a lot of that from students and everybody, and I think she made mention of that in her presentation. Whenever you tell them to join the Green Initiative or join anything, what they ask is, show my yo, you get exactly. So, yeah, and that's a very, very big problem to everybody, because you can't actually be successful if you chase money first. You have to be passionate about whatever you are doing. Money, though you need money will definitely come. But one thing is, we've been able to convince a lot of people, and there are a lot of benefits, not just the LD part. You tend to become a social entrepreneurship. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to build entrepreneurs in every area. So that's a part of it. Would help you to brand whatever you do, the counseling aspect, and we are fun people. So there's a lot of things to gain when you join us. I would have been blunt by saying you won't get anything, but
you get
so
social entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
you feel good about doing
feel
the right
good,
thing.
Counseling and all that.
And you're saving your environment. You get a lot out of it.
All right, on affordability, the difference that someone like myself and my company we're bringing to the space is affordability. In fact, our payoff is affordable, reliable, clean. So energy that we want to do must be affordable. It must be one that is reliable, that can power you for 24 hours. And it must be by clean sources, no generators and the rest. How did we get 100 Babas to go solar? What we did was using our background of banking, I was in Standard Trust Bank, where we did leasing for army guys in Kaduna, Okada. We had leasing for Okada, imagine, in those days. So we said, look, we can replicate this in this space. So we started a leasing program. We call it rent to own. So a Baba, the smallest size that we did was about 230,000 naira. The next size is 450. So the first thing the Baba will say, if I have 450, I won't be in this business, okay? So what we do is we take 10% down payment. We don't work with individual Babas. We work with the association. They know how to control themselves. So they give us 10%. We do the installation. And then the next week, they start paying 5,000 naira per week. And the guy tells me that this is far, far better than he's spending on generators. And so what happened is that we did our mathematics. In 18 months, he will have fully paid for this installation, and then we transfer ownership to him. And I can guarantee you he can use my battery for a minimum of 4 years, the inverter for 7 years, and the solar panel goes for like 20 years. So from year 3, he's already making savings. So this is, for me, how solar can be affordable in Nigeria.
Solar leasing is a concept that has started many years ago. I think firstly by SolarCity, the company in the US, I think the largest solar company, which is founded was initially, I think, the brainchild of Elon Musk, but then his cousins took over. I think leasing is something now that has been saturated. Maybe not yet in Nigeria, but I think we need to look further to make it more affordable. You need to look at things like, maybe I should not be giving my ideas away, but you need to look at things like local production. It's a no-brainer. Huh? You need to look at things like cost of importing. So on the MYOT2, which is the draft, it's supposed to have a renewable energy clause in there. They're not supposed to charge anything in customs for importing of solar panels or batteries or inverters or any of the associated equipment. I am not sure that in reality this holds up. But things like that, so policy and regulation, local manufacturing, which are age-old economic principles, these are things that help make it cheaper. I'm not so sure. Leasing for now, yes, I agree. But in the future, I think you need to look more into community ownership. So, and there are many other financing options. So I think research should be done in this field, essentially for Nigeria and other developing countries, on how to come up with innovative financing options for renewable energy.
And also, just to buttress on the point of what they have to gain, I think we're creating a network of social entrepreneurs. And I've said that social entrepreneurship, you have to make profit. So you can gain that. And from these students, some of them are in the crowd. We have students that are already entrepreneurs. They pay their school fees from whatever business they started. And I am doing it pro bono. I'm mentoring them. I'm there when they want to get their shop, I'm there with them. When they want to create their logo, I'm there with them. When they want to create a website, I'm there with them. So we're branding them. And I think that's one thing, that's the aspect of Green Campus Initiative that can appeal to young people. Thank you.
Great, thanks a lot. And just in case you missed it, it's Green the Campus, the color green the campus, and that's across all social platforms, right? So we've only got time for 2 more questions. I know this lady has been waiting for a moment.
Thank you. My name is Moji Delano. My question was divided into 2. It's one question, but it was divided into 2. She asked one part of the question. The other part is still talking about affordability. You said something about, of course, the goal of your company, I'm sure, is to get it out there to as many Nigerians as possible. But then again, you mentioned, in answering the question that the way you were able to, reach out to because when you talked about barbers, I'm thinking, okay, sorry, the general concept is that solar is expensive because we all want, at least I know a lot of people here will want it. But of course, the general concept also is that, okay, how do I get it because it's expensive? So when you mentioned the barbers, I'm thinking, okay, if barbers can afford it, then it's affordable. But then you said that, you had to go through the association. So my question is how or what is your company doing to take it out there to Nigerians? Because I'm very interested. I'm tired of buying, fuel and all that. So if I can get an ultimate solution once and then, that's it, then. So how are you getting it to people who live in flats, who don't have all the money, who don't have mansions and all that? How are you ensuring that they also have access to solar? Thank you.
Okay, great. And I believe we had one more question. Y'all have been very vocal, though. Is that the last? Okay, I'm going to go to the very back there. Sorry, if we have time, I'll come back to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel. I was wondering, the Green Initiative, is it only in campuses? Don't you have maybe platforms for secondary schools? Because I believe if we start giving them these informations young, before they get to the campus, I think it must have been embedded in them. You understand? So I was wondering if there's a platform where someone can partner with you guys to take this message to secondary schools and primary schools. Thank you.
Okay, let me just quickly react to the issue of affordability. Before I do that, I also want to react to my friend here, who probably does not believe in leasing. I can tell you it's easier said in a hall like this than done. I've been in that trenches, for the last 7 years. And I know what can work and what will not work for now. For now, I think it's leasing. It has to be affordable, or else you cannot get a barber to sign on. And I believe we need to work before we begin to jump and fly, right? Leasing is the option for now. Let me tell you the next step we're looking at, and we're already talking to our partners. We have a timeline for ourselves, milestones. In the next 2 years, we will be doing assembling of technologies in Nigeria. And if there's, 2 years down the line, I can come here and then we can test if that has worked. And we are saying Nigeria is a big market. Everybody in solar is looking at Nigeria. The market is huge. Nigeria has 60 million generators. So everybody says, look, this is the market I want to get into. All right? So in manufacturing, I can tell you in the next 5 years, will happen in Nigeria. Already, Naseni is already doing solar panels in Nigeria. So we need to start from somewhere. You need even to get people to use before you begin to say, let me go get some big dollars and set up a factory in Nigeria, or else I go down the next moment, okay? So for now, leasing is an option. Now, it's not only barbers we do solar for. I've done solar for bankers, Stanbic IBTC, EcoBank, First Bank. I have customers in these places. They have regular jobs, so it's all easier. I tie it to their payroll. Yes, exactly. And then churches too. I mean, my church in Magodo also has a solar panel now, and they get money every Sunday. And I attend the church, so after service, of course, right? But so this is the way we can make it easy. The next step we're looking at, and we're planning that by next year, is what we call the pay-as-you-go. We have a sample kit in my office now that is a pay-as-you-go solution. It's a plug and play, and it has a keypad, all the letters. We have a machine that can vend recharge cards. Okay, so we install in your house, because, for example, for me to do a leasing for you, I need to get some comfort. That's why we're doing for bankers. That's why I'm doing for barbers through their association. They do the collections for me every week, all right? For bankers, they have good jobs. They give me post-dated checks, all right? But for a guy who maybe an SME, is a challenge. How do I secure my risk? So we are saying a pay-as-you-go solution will be better. So I install in your house, and you buy a recharge card like you are recharging your phone. It lasts you for 1 week. After 1 week, it automatically shuts down. You have to buy another recharge from me before you can use it. That's the next phase.
Okay, concerning the secondary school question, she said it in her presentation that, raising eco-conscious kid, and that we have started already. We have Green Kids Club already. We have started it we have 2 schools already that runs this club. And we are open to partnership, and it is not just for campuses. We have associates, which are graduates, anything you are apart from undergraduates. You can also partner with us. So I think I answered the question. You go to the website, www.greenthecampus.org, then you see join us, or you go to partners. Then you see a form, you fill it, answer the question, then submit it, then we reply you immediately. That's it.
In response to your comments, I agree that for now, leasing is an option, and I think this is something that a lot of companies in Lagos do as well. I know about 4 or 5 other solar companies, one in particular, Solinter. I don't know if you've heard of it, but they do exactly the same thing. So I agree that for now, like I said, that leasing is an option to make it affordable. But if you're thinking about the future, which we should be conscious of, we should think about finding new ways of financing to make it different. Your pay-as-you-go solution is also a nice idea. There's a company in Kenya called Mkopa. They're very successful actually, and their whole business model is based on this pay-as-you-go principle. So if it's also brought to Nigeria and other African countries, I think it's a good idea. It makes it a bit more affordable. At the end of the day, pay-as-you-go is also another way of financing. So I think the more we think about ways to make it cheaper, the only more options that we can get. And leapfrogging is also a very big concept. So in order for us to move from now to 10 years to 15 years to where developed countries are, we can adopt this technology and adopt these business modules. And we can force the markets, even if there's not. There's something you call, you create demand. So it's demand side creation. So you force it into the market. And it's not going to be forced and unaccepted simply because of the situation that we're all living in. We see electricity 8 hours in 2 weeks, or maybe a week if you're lucky. And you spend obscene amounts on petrol. So I think for basic necessities, it's something that will be accepted if it's done right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. It has been a nice session, and I hope one day the government will deem it fit to adopt this solar technology, And to bring this to a close, like I said in the beginning, the question everybody asks is, what gain is in it for me? What gain is in it for me to go green? What gain is in it for me to go sustainable? And this is it. We all go about our daily obligations, without thinking about our environment. But this is the food for thought. What if there were no environment? What would you do? Would you still be able to carry out that activity that you love so much that is making you, destroy the only environment that you have? I think we should really think about that and pledge in our hearts to sincerely go green. Thank you very much.